You spent 2 years researching the perfect country to retire abroad. You watched every video. You joined every Facebook group. You picked your city. Then you find out the visa rules changed, and your numbers don't work anymore. In 2026, at least 7 countries popular with American retirees updated their requirements. Income thresholds rose. Tax breaks vanished. One country closed its most popular retirement program entirely and replaced it with something most Americans haven't even heard about. If you're making a life-changing decision on 2023 YouTube videos, you're making it with bad data. Before I reveal them, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything new. Let's start with good news. Panama's Pensionado visa still requires just $1,000 a month in lifetime pension income. No property purchase, no investment. In 2025, they expanded qualifying income sources and streamlined the process, and they've signaled no intention of raising the threshold. The discount program everyone loves, 25% off utilities, 20% off medical, is untouched. The thing most videos skip: healthcare is world-class in Panama City. Once you're 2 hours into the mountains, your nearest hospital might be an hour away. Plan for that. Bottom line, Panama is still the simplest, cheapest, most stable retirement visa in the Western Hemisphere. Thailand overhauled its long-term resident visa in 2024. The new LTR requires either $80,000 in annual income, $500,000 in Thai assets, or $100,000 in income, plus a master's degree. For the standard OA retirement visa, the one most retirees actually use, you now need to park 800,000 baht, about $23,000, in a Thai bank account. That hasn't changed. But financial scrutiny on applications has intensified, and Thailand is steering new arrivals toward the higher barrier LTR. The reality: Thailand is still incredibly affordable once you're there. But the government wants wealthier, higher-skilled, long-term residents. If you're retiring on Social Security with no significant cash reserve, Thailand in 2026 is harder to qualify for than it was 2 years ago. This is the one that hurts. Portugal ended its non-habitual resident tax regime, the NHR, for new applicants in 2024. That was the program that let foreign retirees pay 10% or zero Portuguese tax on U.S. pension income for 10 years. Gone. Then, in 2025, they raised the D7 visa income threshold to $870 a month, roughly $940 for a single applicant. For couples, about $1,305 or $1,400 a month. There's a replacement program, NHR 2.0, also called IFESI, but it's for tech workers, scientists, and startup founders, not retirees living on a pension. Portugal is still beautiful, safe, and affordable. But the tax advantage that made it the obvious choice for so many Americans is gone, and the income threshold is climbing. If your Portugal plan was built on 2022 videos, you need to rerun the math. More Americans live in Mexico than any other foreign country, over 1.5 million. The temporary resident visa is straightforward, about $4,500 in monthly income or $75,000 in savings. Those numbers didn't change. What did change? Mexico's Immigration Authority, the INM, is increasingly restricting new temporary resident applicants to inland destinations. Coastal areas, Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Puerto Vallarta are seeing more rejections. It's not formalized policy, but immigration attorneys across the country are reporting the same pattern. Second change, Mexico's tax authority, the SAT, is scrutinizing foreign residents' worldwide income more aggressively. You become a Mexican tax resident after 183 days in the country, and Mexico wants to know about your IRA distributions, 401k withdrawals, and U.S. rental income. Hire a cross-border accountant before you move. Ecuador's pensioner visa requires just $450 a month in lifetime pension income. $450. It's the lowest threshold in the entire Western Hemisphere. The visa didn't change. But in late 2024, Ecuador suffered severe rolling blackouts. Some areas went 14 hours without power. The government responded by raising the VAT from 12% to 15% in April 2025. That's a permanent price increase on everything you buy. The number on the visa application is still $450. But the lived experience, higher prices, energy instability, political uncertainty shifted meaningfully. Thousands of American retirees live happily in Cuenca and Quito. But if Ecuador is on your list, go spend a month, not a week. The spreadsheet looks great. The reality matters more. Spain's non-lucrative visa still requires about $2,800 a year in passive income, roughly $31,000. The threshold is indexed to a government index called IPREM, so it rises slightly each year. The bigger story, in April 2025, Spain announced it's ending the Golden Visa, the program granting residency for a $500,000 property purchase, effective early 2026. At the same time, Spain is expanding its digital nomad visa and prioritizing working-age remote workers. What this means for retirees: the non-lucrative visa still exists, but Spain's immigration energy is shifting toward younger, tax-contributing residents. Health insurance requirements are being reviewed more aggressively. Applications are getting more scrutiny. One potential upside: the Golden Visa phase-out could soften coastal property prices by late 2026. If you're a cash buyer, the timing might actually work in your favor. Colombia's Pensionado visa requires about $940 a month in pension income, tied to 3 times the Colombian minimum wage. That's up from roughly $860. The threshold rises whenever the minimum wage does, and Colombia has been aggressively raising wages. Colombia also introduced a new digital nomad visa and modernized its entire visa framework in 2025. Processing times are improving, but the pensionado threshold is now indexed to a rising wage floor. As Colombia's economy grows, so does the cost of entry. Medellin, Cartagena, and Bogotá have growing expat communities, and prices in the best neighborhoods are climbing. Colombia is still a bargain, one of the best deals in the world. But it's not a hidden gem anymore, and the window for getting in at today's costs is narrowing. $900 a month. That's what the average Social Security check looks like for millions of Americans right now. And before it even settles in the account, rent takes half. Groceries take another chunk. A prescription or two. Maybe one utility bill. And that's it. That's the month. This is retirement in America in 2026. Not relaxation, not freedom. Just math that doesn't add up. But here's what almost nobody talks about. There are places in the world right now where that same $900 check doesn't just cover your bills. It covers your bills, your meals, your healthcare, and still leaves money sitting in your account at the end of the month. Some of these places, you could live on $500 and call it comfortable. Now, everybody says Thailand. Thailand, Thailand, Thailand. But Thailand just shifted its tax rules on foreign income. The expat crowds have exploded. The golden era of cheap Thai retirement is quietly cracking at the edges. So today, we're going beyond the usual list. 10 countries, real numbers, real visa programs, and a few destinations most people have never even considered. The Philippines runs one of the most straightforward retirement programs in Asia. It's called the SRRV, Special Resident Retirees Visa, and the age requirement starts at 50. That's younger than almost any other country on this list. If you have a pension, a $10,000 bank deposit locks in your permanent residency. That's a one-time deposit, not spent, just sitting there. But here's the number that genuinely stops people in their tracks. Military veterans qualify for a completely different tier. The courtesy program, $1,500 on deposit. That's it. Comfortable living runs about $1,000 to $1,200 a month. But plenty of retirees get by well under that if they live like a local. Colombia requires a monthly pension of roughly $1,450 to qualify for the Type M Pensionado visa. So it asks for more than some others on this list, but here's why it still makes the cut. The World Health Organization ranked Colombia's healthcare system higher than the United States. That's not a blog opinion. That's the WHO. And for retirees, healthcare cost is often the number that makes or breaks the budget. In Medellin, a city with a spring-like climate year-round, comfortable living lands around $1,300 to $1,500 a month. The air quality and the pace of life both beat most American cities by a wide margin. Most people are still Googling where Albania is. That's the whole point. While Portugal, Greece, and Spain are aggressively eliminating their tax breaks for foreigners and doubling golden visa minimums, Albania went the opposite direction. Albania passed a 0% tax rate on foreign pension income. Every cent of your Social Security check lands in your account untouched. The Albanian government keeps none of it. A comfortable life on the Albanian Riviera. Think Adriatic coastlines that look like Croatia from 20 years ago, before everyone discovered it, runs about $1,100 to $1,300 a month. Apartments with sea views rent for prices that would make a Floridian cry. Panama's Pensionado visa is probably the most famous retirement program in the Western Hemisphere. The income requirement is just $1,000 a month. But the part that actually changes the budget math is what the visa legally unlocks. By Panamanian law, Pensionado visa holders get 25% off utility bills, 25% off airline tickets, and up to 20% off all medical services. These aren't promotional deals. They are government mandated by law. The US dollar is the currency. No exchange rate. No conversion fees. Your bank account works exactly like it does at home. Comfortable living runs about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. But with those discounts built in, the real spending number drops considerably below that headline figure. This one is for anyone watching who just thought, I don't have a $1,500 pension yet. Vietnam has no formal retirement visa program. But long-term tourist renewals make extended living genuinely possible. And the cost of living here makes every other country on this list look expensive by comparison. A fully furnished luxury apartment, rooftop pool, city views, modern kitchen, rents for under $450 a month in cities like Da Nang and Hoi An. Comfortable total living runs $800 to $1,000 a month. If you live with any intentionality at all, $500 a month is genuinely achievable here. Vietnam is where the math actually hits the number in our title. Here's a fact that lands differently every time. Bulgaria has the lowest overall cost of living anywhere in the European Union. Not close to the lowest. The lowest. Full stop. The Bulgarian D-Visa pensioner category asks for official pensioner status, Social Security, or private pension, plus proof of a local bank account or rental contract. If those boxes are checked, residency is essentially straightforward. Comfortable living in Bulgaria runs $1,000 to $1,200 a month. But you are inside the EU. Full infrastructure. European healthcare standards. Easy travel to Greece, Romania, Turkey. For $1,000 a month, Bulgaria might be the best deal in Europe that nobody is talking about. Ecuador made one decision that changed everything for American retirees living there. They adopted the US dollar as their official currency. No foreign exchange risk. No watching an exchange rate eat your pension every time it shifts. The dollar you deposit is the dollar you spend. The visa requires about $1,350 a month in income, and comfortable living lands around $1,200 to $1,400, meaning your qualification income and your living costs sit in almost the same range. Cuenca, Ecuador's most popular expat city, sits in the Andes. The climate runs a permanent 65 to 70 degrees. No air conditioning needed, no heating needed. That alone drops utility costs to near zero. Nobody talks about this one. That's the entire case for it. Lake Ohrid sits in the southwest corner of North Macedonia. Classic European architecture, mountain backdrop, crystal clear water, and prices that look like Southeast Asia, not Southern Europe. Comfortable living in North Macedonia runs $900 to $1,100 a month. Violent crime is virtually non-existent. The country isn't flooded with expats yet. You're not competing with a wave of early adopters who already drove rents up. This is the curiosity gap pick. The one you show people who think they've heard every retirement destination that exists. The Dominican Republic requires $1,500 a month in pension income. But look at what the program actually delivers. Permanent residency within 45 days. Not months. Not a year of waiting. 45 days. On top of that, the program includes complete tax exemption on all foreign retirement income and a full waiver on property transfer taxes for your first home purchase. Caribbean living, tax-free income, and the fastest residency path on this entire list. Comfortable living runs $1,400 to $1,700 a month. People pay Monaco prices to look at water like this. In Montenegro, you don't have to. The Adriatic fjords here look like something off a postcard. The country runs a flat 9% income tax on general income, one of the lowest flat rates in Europe. And long-term residency paths through property lease or a small local entity are accessible without layers of bureaucracy. Comfortable living runs $1,400 to $1,600 a month. But the lifestyle you are buying at that price point, it compares to places charging 3 and 4 times as much. Montenegro is the luxury option on a modest budget. And in 2026, it's still discoverable before the crowds arrive.